What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Real Frame of Mind. Just outside of I don't think I should say the name.
Because we had a theater near us.
Yeah, we had to get clearance to do this. But we're outside of it. Trace, couch patching.
Yes.
Damon Big D's Gumbert behind the camera.
Here we are.
Scott Icebox Nemi. Trace, going into this movie, man, what were your expectations?
Well, like I said prior to this video starting, I probably am the least versed in the It saga, I guess, or the novelization of it. I never read it. I never saw the original film, made for TV film. So really, the trailers for this were the first kind of thing that brought me into it. And I was hooked right away. Trailer 1 was killer, probably one of my favorite trailers of the whole year. So it brought me in, and I know I was really stoked. I think it made, when we did our top 5 anticipated movies of the year, I think it made my list, but if it did,
Definitely.
It should have. So I was very, very, very pumped. High expectations.
Definitely, I'd have to say exactly the same. The director, Andy Muschietti, whatever, I don't really know how to pronounce his last name, but he actually did a film that I thought was somewhat, maybe underrated to some, but he did Mama. And that movie scared the shit out of me when it came out, so I was like, I'm all for it, and the trailers freaked the shit out of me too. I read the book, most of the book, skipped around a few parts, but I was definitely excited to see how they were going to take, we knew it was going to be kids, so taking the kids from Derry and then how they were going to play it out throughout the film. I don't think anybody thought that they were going to get an adult version in this.
No.
At all. So yeah, I was definitely excited going in there. Definitely some actors. The kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
That other kid from Book of Henry.
Yeah, he's from Book of Henry and Midnight Special. I remember him from.
Yeah. So
he did good.
Yeah. So I was really excited to see how they were going to do this, and I have seen the TV miniseries, or the 2-part special.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely outdated. So I was excited to see this film get sort of a retake on it, because out of all the films that have been being remade, I thought this one definitely deserved it.
For sure.
So, big question.
Yeah.
How'd you feel coming out of it?
Really good, actually. Grin on my face.
Yeah.
Just excited to see it again, actually, and I think that's an indication right there, especially with a horror film or a horror-esque film. You get out of it, you get the scares. You don't really maybe not want to revisit it a second time, but I'm ready to watch that again. I'm finding it hard to find complaints about it.
So as far as like the horror aspect, was it scary? I mean, some people are, you're scared or you're not scared.
Yeah, I don't scare very easily in movies, but I think the aesthetics of the horror were perfect. Like the presentation of it, I guess the only complaint I could say is sometimes the CGI interfered with the disbelief that I'm supposed to be put into.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's nitpicking though. Other than that, yeah, the horror was. I haven't seen a horror film. I feel like I'm particularly picky with horror films, but I haven't seen one that has done that well of a job in a long time. So I think it blew it out of the park for that.
Yeah, I definitely would agree. I thought it was a different take on, for me, when I came out of this film, I'm thinking almost less of horror and more of a different take of a coming-of-age film. Every character that they set in this, they just, obviously, they put out, the hurdles that they have to get over, and, accomplishing that. I think it's going to be really interesting, because, spoiler alert, it does say at the end, part 1, so we are going to get a part 2, and it'll be really interesting to see where they go from there, because of the bond that these kids had at the end of the film was so great.
I think that's one of my favorite things coming out of this movie, because my knowledge isn't as keen as yours with the story, but I guess based on the trailers, I thought it was going to be more horror. So I had a different anticipation coming in here. So I think coming out of the bond that the story built for all these kids was great, really awesome, and the fact that all those kid actors could pull it off, it's not something you see as often. I guess more so nowadays you see a lot of great kid actors pulling off meaty roles like that, but I think they all killed it. They made the bonds and all of them believable. I was talking about Damon. This is maybe some under character development here, because there's a lot of characters you're working with, but
I think it's more so than they actually originally had in the book, right?
I don't know.
At least the miniseries, I don't remember.
My main complaint was I read something online and I kind of agreed with it. Was that there was the two characters. Mike was basically like the entirety of his character was he's the black kid, and then Stanley was the Jewish kid. Like that was about as fleshed out as those two characters got, which is unfortunate because Mike had a pretty cool story about his biggest fear. Like, I wish he had been fleshed out a little bit more because I felt like his was the most real.
Yeah, I mean,
other than Bill and the chick who I can't remember the name of. Yeah,
for the most part, obviously Bill is the front and center of the story because it sort of revolves around his brother going missing.
Yeah.
You know, the girl is key, and I think a lot of these relationships are going to. I don't want to spoil anything for those who haven't read the book or seen the miniseries, but I think partially the reasons that they are not going in depth on maybe some characters is because of what happens in the second part.
Yeah,
that
it'll get more fleshed out in that part.
Either that, or
people have different roles,
or either that, or they're not going to make it very far.
Yeah,
you know.
Right.
So, in that case, I can kind of see you not getting attached to, not wanting you to get attached maybe to a character. Because maybe they're not going to be there that long. I don't know. That's not a route I would take. But I think a couple of things that I had with the young actors in this was just the fact that they're in a horror movie. You gotta act scared, and I totally believed.
Yeah.
Every time they were scared.
Oh, for sure.
It wasn't over the top. It wasn't, you know.
I never had a moment in the movie. You know, when you have young actors, sometimes you can say, okay, yeah, that's maybe a scene that they're having trouble with, and they got coached along with a director. But I had never had a moment in this movie where I was like, these kids aren't killing it. Like, it never pulled me out saying, oh, these are actors acting. It was always, I'm in this story, I'm in this movie.
Even
they sold it to
the
me.
minor actors, like the bully and his friends.
Yeah,
like
the bully was amazing.
They were doing great.
Henry, I think his name was.
Mm-hmm.
Was really impressive. You know, the only thing I would say is that when they were going around, you know, making the pledge, and you know, you kind of get those weird reactions of like, how would you react if you got cut in the hand? And those are some of the hard ones to do.
Yeah.
And I felt like the big kid Ben, I felt like he's been slashed and gashed throughout the entire movie, and why would he even flinch? I figured his reaction and the girl's reaction should have been flip-flopped.
Yeah,
they were trying to make her, because she was the bravest one. And all that
true,
jazz.
But I felt like the whole time this kid's digging up all this stuff, and he's going, I mean, I don't want to, this is supposed to be spoiler-free, but I mean, when you introduce him to Pennywise, it's like, I mean, that kid had some balls, you know? So, yeah, I agree. I mean, I definitely see it now from what you guys said, but talking about acting, what did you guys think of Pennywise?
I thought it was great.
Fantastic.
I've seen clips and I've seen parts from Tim Curry's version of Pennywise, but I think this is great. I think Bill Skarsgård did a fantastic job of portraying, I don't know, just this creepy, ancient clown. Like,
it was so impressive.
It really was.
I saw a different film, and they gave you the preview of, it was a short clip of him in the sewer with Bill, and I was like, from right there, this is a few weeks ago, and I'm like, get me into this movie. I don't want to watch a movie I'm at now. Like, put me in this, because just the way he's talking about cotton candy and popcorn, like just the way, and then he starts drooling and all this
stuff. Yeah, he did that all, like every time we talked a lot. He just drew
I need to see more of him.
The switches between like his like childish voice and his evil voice were fantastic.
And it's insane how he just loses interest all of a sudden from trying to be nice to lure the kid down to get your ass down here. You know, and that I was very, very impressed with that.
Yeah,
it was
for sure.
It was great, and you know, I think it's a long movie.
Yeah,
I mean, it's over 2 hours.
Yep.
And you know, I did feel like at some points I sort of felt it, but I think going back a second time to this movie, I'm gonna enjoy it even more.
Oh, for sure.
I really did enjoy it.
I mean, there's some, you know, I wouldn't say exposition, but plot movement that was maybe a little slower at points, but I don't think it was noticeable. I was still interested and invested throughout those, you know, slower moments where they're kind of, you know, I guess it would be the developing their characters and their fears and what you're going to see
it was the
later.
Storytelling outside of the horror aspect.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was a great blend, and it was perfect.
Yeah, and definitely, I think that needs to happen more in horror movies. There needs to be more storytelling instead of just here's a story, but we're just going to try and scare the shit out of you.
Right, and I also think they did such a great job of delving into, it's not just the horror of the clown, it's the horrors that they face every day. And a couple of the kids had horrors at home. A few of them. Yep. The horrors are at home, and I think that's what's great, because it gives an added depth to a story that is always lacking in horror films, slasher film, whatever.
It's a genre that is very one-sided typically. It's just like Damon was saying, scares. Here's scares. Here's a shitty here's a bad unfriended movie that it's just meant for sheer
Polaroid. Like
oh my god.
I think if we take a picture, we're gonna die. It's like the dialogue was
so awful.
But then you have something like this that blends the drama of real life things that we can relate to, and the horrors of being a child sometimes. So I think it's great.
Definitely, I think direction wise, story wise, it was so perfectly linked from next to next to next, and you knew, okay, this is going to be how they interact with Pennywise. But I was ready for it. After one got done, I'm ready for the next person to have their experience, and I'm ready for the next person. And the whole time I'm trying to piece together things inside of the trailers that I saw, and thinking, okay, I haven't seen this yet, so there's still more time in the film. I'm excited, and that's what I think you want from the film.
I'm glad they changed. And this is a tiny spoiler from the trailer, the part where Georgie's saying "You'll float too."
Yeah.
They amped it up so hard in this movie rather than in the trailer.
They didn't give you it all.
They didn't give
it, which is great.
So I mean,
so creepy.
Maybe next time it's so tempting to watch trailers. I think maybe next time a lot of those big scares they put in the actual trailers, which was a little disappointing, but still, like you said, they changed them around and added. They didn't show you a whole bunch.
It's not like comedy movies where you get all the laughs before you even get into the movie theater.
Right. Yeah. Which is I think the bonus of that is even though this, most of the scary parts didn't actually scare me, or I saw them coming because they're in the trailer. All the other best parts of the movie were presented there too. So that I didn't get to experience in the trailer. So
I want to do a new thing here with each of us. And there's so many different ways to grade a film. There's, letter grades, there's percentage score, there's stars, there's maple leafs, whatever it is. Shout out to Ann Burke. So why don't you guys go and score whatever way you knew movie reviews to be the best and score the film. I'm going to give it, Roger Ebert style, I'm going to give it 3 out of 4 stars.
What I've been doing this year is I've been doing out of 10s, but I'm cheating too because I'm not getting full stars. I'm giving like 0.8 point something.
No, that's good. That's
so
good.
I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to sit at an 8.5 for this.
All right, Damon?
There's no continuity. I will go with 4 stars out of 5.
Nice. All right. Well, there you have it. That's our thoughts on Stephen King's It, or just It. Go check it out. It's opening, today, if you're watching September 8th. So check it out, and you'll float too. I thought about that one before.
That's good.